Historian Victor David Hanson recently sat down with Tucker Carlson, and his revelations, they are a must-watch. In dialogue with Tucker Carlson, Hanson voices concerns about the direction liberals are steering the nation. He perceived a blatant abandonment of traditional moral values, all in a quest for power. For Hanson, President Trump isn't merely a political figure, but embodies a significant threat to the specific liberal vision, a vision he links to a term called critical legal theory. So what is this critical legal theory that Hanson mentions? In essence, it's the idea that laws, instead of being neutral instruments for justice, are tools of oppression designed by the powerful to maintain their dominance. Liberals, according to Hanson, view Trump as an obstacle to their transformative objectives and thus justify any means to counter him. Watch.
Well, I think they've come to the conclusion that Trump represented an existential threat, and by association, half the country did, to their vision of what they want to transform us into. And so they feel that any means necessary are justified by their noble spiritual ends. And therefore, they call it critical legal theory. Just essentially, Tucker says, there's rules against stealing only because rich people don't steal, and therefore it's okay to steal. Modern monetary theory says print as much money, and eventually rich people will have to pay higher taxes or have their 401ks appropriated. Same thing with the border. Short term, everybody's mad at the border, but in dark rooms, they're saying to each other, in 10 years, everybody's going to appreciate what we did. We brought in 10 to 15 million new constituents. So, and I guess to put it all together, they feel that they're at a stage now where their agenda does not appeal to 51% of the people, and they either have to bring in new constituencies or change the system, the entire system of which we are acculturated to retain power, and that's what they're willing to do. And there's no such thing anymore as theft or lies or any of these things, because they're just constructs, and they're just anything that's useful to gain power is considered legitimate, and anything that's not useful is illegitimate, and that's how they define morality. And I think we're very naive, Tucker. We don't realize that we're in the middle of a revolution. We think that we're still playing within the same sidelines or parameters, and it's not. Everything's under negotiation, whether it's the Senate filibuster, the Electoral College, new states coming in, the size of the Supreme Court, voting IDs, the genders, the foundational data of the United States, pronoun usage, from the trivial to the existential. We're in the middle of a cultural, economic, political revolution.
But what's the solution? The upcoming elections, especially that of 2024, present an opportunity. A return to normalcy, in Hanson's words, might just hinge on that election. Here's what he had to say.
I think there's one last effort on the part of conservatives. They're going to say, you know what, we're going to speak up as we've never spoken up before. We're going to go after Target. We're going to go after Disney. We're going to say that we're going to go after the three-gender movement, and we're going to try to win this election. We're going to try to win the House. We're going to try to win the representative. We just have to unite behind, and we'll see if that works. I'm really afraid. Everybody says democracy's in danger, but I think if they feel that they have the majority of the people, and I think the majority of the people are against this progressive Jacobin agenda, and they still can't find power, then we're going to be in new territory. We're in new territory now. And so there are legitimate efforts to rectify and stop this madness, and let's see what happens in 2024. But I don't think it works anymore just to migrate to a red state or to drop out of the popular culture. You've got to get control of the political apparatus of the country through elections. And your worry is legitimate. If you can't do it through fair elections, then what do you do? So I think this election, I know everybody says that each election is paramount, but this one is very important because we're in the middle of a revolution, and it's our only avenue to a counter-revolution to return to normality. I think the next 12 to 18 months are going to be the most explosive in our history since the Great Depression.